Welcome to Naked Man Blogging. This is Volume 6, June 3rd, 2008. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you find something here interesting. I was at a loss for inspiration early this morning. I got up and wrote a letter to a friend of mine's who's a lady blues guitarist out of Seattle, Lisa K. Dieter. And I was talking about some blues issues, in particular the passing of Bo Diddley. And it struck me that watching the news this morning, they played more on Bo Diddley's complaints about him not getting credit for what he did for rock and roll as opposed to just his accomplishments. And that's kind of indicative of the season. And that really is indicative of Bo Diddley's complaint. And it was ironic that when he died, he got more credit for whining about not getting credit as opposed for what he did to deserve credit. Instead of celebrating the person, they have to celebrate some other aspect of that person, not focus on his accomplishments. So we'll miss you, Bo Diddley. And although you did contribute to the transformation of blues, you didn't get all the credit you deserved when you were alive. I won't begrudge you that. Unfortunately, you're gone now, but your music will live on. And the rockers that have learned from you will continue to, I'm sure, give you credit, although you probably didn't get paid like you should have. A lot of people didn't get paid, but this isn't about them. Other things that I saw in the news that were pretty interesting was there's, I guess, a portion of the kids have been released back to their parents' custody in Texas. The polygamists compound that was rated for 400 children is coming back to some sort of life, although it seems that some of the parents are conscious of the media and are moving out of the compound that they have there. Probably shades of Waco and whatever other compound raid that the federal government in the state of Texas has perpetrated on its citizens are memories that are fresh in their minds. But in this case, I was ambivalent at first about the raid. I was thinking that, I do know that Department of Health and Children Services, or whatever it's called in Texas and in other states, can be very heavy-handed in the approach of dealing with parents and children. They have kind of a like my way or the highway. And I would venture to say that a lot of those people that work for these agencies are probably in need of help in their families, yet they run an agency, and maybe they're working out their frustrations that they can on their family, on other people's families. But having said that, these people aren't polygamists, and polygamy is against the law. And I was not really focused on this issue a lot because most of the stuff that we got was basically sound bites from the press or the state of Texas, and then the polygamists started doing their own media campaign. And so what basically we had was a campaign for the children. The state of Texas on one side, the polygamists on the other side, and the news spinning it whatever way seemed to sell at that moment. And they did change. The news was all over the place. Shows you that the news is basically a bunch of sellouts. But what struck me as odd is that even after the court said give the children back, the state still had enough energy in their case to demand certain requirements that I thought, I'm not even an attorney, although some people accuse me of thinking like one, I thought that either there was something going on that we don't know about, or that, that's it. I'll just say there's something going on that we don't know about. Because if the court said just give the children back, why was the state of Texas able to attach conditions? Well, maybe it's because the word polygamy is still out there. And then there is that picture of that greasy old man in a serious, deep French kiss with a 13-year-old child that he's holding in his arms. That's sick. So I think that's enough right there probably to take all the children, impound the property, and let them slug it out in court and show why the children should be back in the custody as opposed to having the court just throw them back because there wasn't allegedly enough evidence. And that's the problem again with the media as well, is that what we see from reading the newspapers, watching the news, and whatever station you watch, what I think an average citizen could see is, wow, there was something going wrong in that compound. Underage marriages, maybe sex with children, young people having babies, or a lot of babies. And it's not necessarily illegal young people having babies, but a disproportionate amount of children having babies in marriages that are arranged with older guys. Something would say that there is something going on here that is not exactly savory for the average American neighborhood. And of course, America is not about, the average. America is about individuals, and average. I mean, my saying is the exception to the rule is the individual. So, and the rule being another word for average. So what applies to everybody as a common theme or a measurement. So I thought that was kind of ill, the way that this whole thing has transpired, especially giving the children back with the condition that is the final condition that I've been hearing all the news, is that the church has agreed not to participate in any more underage marriages. That would be like O.J. Simpson saying, I, O.J. Simpson, will not kill any more people if you let me free. I was going to avoid talking about the price of energy, except in the form of an update of what I'm doing. I have started to drive a lot slower. I'm doing the 55 thing that basically was mandated 25 some odd years ago when we had our first oil crises. And that was a shortage then, and they said, drive slower, increase the energy supply. Well, you have not heard this since, and the speed limit is just whatever the states choose it to be. So I'm going down the road in my little 4-cylinder truck at about 55, and I'm amazed at how many people just blow by me like there's no tomorrow. Big trucks, small cars, big cars. It's like they don't get it yet. If you drive slower, you actually just burn less gas, and you'll have more money to heat your house, feed your family, do whatever. And if there's any problem with us as individuals, is the ability to see beyond our bumpers of our cars. I think we can see beyond our nose, but right now it doesn't seem that we can see beyond our inalienable right to drive a car as fast as we want and burn up all the gas we want. And I really find that disturbing. I will continue to tool around the freeways like a little old lady in my truck or my little sporty car. I'll do my little 55, 56 miles an hour. And it's really at an experimental stage right now because I want to see if my gas mileage is going to increase. I'm wanting to see what I can do. But I do know that the only thing that we can do, and even other pundits now are agreeing, is that we can use less gas by taking responsibility for our individual consumption of gasoline. So, you know what? I got everywhere I needed to go. I leave 2 minutes early now. I still get there on time. I'm probably saving $10 a day. Well, this is the blog for the day. Appreciate your time. Rest in peace, Bo Diddley.